Welcome to the Maps for Kids Showcase. I'm your host, Tierney Tennant. The City of Oklahoma City is more than 10 years into the Maps for Kids plan, which was developed and approved by you, the Oklahoma City residents, all in an effort to improve education in Oklahoma City and the surrounding areas. On today's show, we take you inside Cleveland Elementary School in Northwest Oklahoma City. The school is home to the Bulldogs and serves students in grades pre-K through 5th. This school has strong community support and dedicated teachers who work together to meet the needs of the more than 350 students who walk the halls. And joining us today is Marcia Stafford, principal at Cleveland Elementary School. How are you?
I'm great.
Well, we're so glad to be here.
Thank you for inviting me.
I think we're going to have a great old time talking about your great school.
I know. We do have a wonderful school.
And your school just wrapped up renovations. Well, so congratulations. Yes. Tell us about the process.
Well, it was very smooth, I really have to say.
Good.
We only had one classroom that had to be moved to the library. Everyone else was able to stay in their classroom. So I thought that was great. And I think that reflects back on the team, the architects and the construction company. They were fabulous, and we all worked together, had our little weekly meetings, and so I think that contributed a lot to it. And then also the construction manager included the children. He had all of the children sign their name on one of the beams.
Oh, great.
And then they lifted up the beam and installed it and put a little tree at the top. And so the children were they were part of the process. And so I thought that was very special.
Now, when you look at the grand scheme of this whole renovation process, what from the beginning was your number one thing that you wanted in this building?
Well, we really needed safety improvements made to this building. The main thing is the entrance to the building. Because before, in our old entrance, a parent, anyone could walk in and go to the left or the right or upstairs.
Without anybody even seeing.
Exactly. And so it was very important to me so that we could include that, where our visitors would be forced to go into the office and sign in, check in. That was important. We had no working cameras in our building. So MAPS, this provided 10 cameras, and so that's wonderful. And then also, the ADA requirements needed to be improved. It provided an elevator and ramps.
Oh, great.
And the restrooms were updated. So safety was the number one priority.
And it sounds like you met that goal.
Yes. And then we needed a computer lab. That school did not have a computer lab, and so that was very, very special and was needed.
From the outside, because I've driven by the school, it's right off of Northwest 23rd, you can see it. It looks way bigger from the outside. So I take it you got additional space. So
we did.
What did that space go toward?
We did. Well, we have 9 new regular ed classrooms, 3 additional special ed rooms, an administrative area, and in the administration area, the counselor has her own office. The psychologist.
That's big.
It is big because they had to share. So that improved our confidentiality. We have a nice conference room, and we also have, it's a 2-story addition. So the classrooms, and 2 additional pre-K rooms. Lots of new space, the computer lab and the library, the new art room, which is fabulous. It's huge, 3 sinks. We have a kiln in there.
Oh, nice.
I know, so we are so blessed, very blessed.
One thing I notice when I walk into Cleveland, it's just shiny.
It is.
It's really shiny. What are some of the cosmetic changes? Is it new lighting? It just looks really fresh, clean, and shiny. That's the only way I can describe it.
Well, we have a lot of large windows and natural lighting. There's been research done on natural lighting, and students improve and are more successful when they are learning in the natural light instead of artificial lighting. So I really love the huge windows, and the children can look out, and children are more creative.
Oh, yeah.
Their environment is so very important.
And your school received a B on the state's A through F grading
Yes.
scale. What areas are you focused on? Because I know you want to bring it to an A, and if
Yes,
there was anything
yes,
higher than an A, you
yes,
want to get there.
yes,
So what
absolutely.
areas are you focused on, and what strategies are you using to get to that A?
Okay. Of course, we want to continue to work on writing, technology skills, and our growth area. That's where we need to improve on. And so what we'll do is when test results come back, we will analyze that data, we will look at the skills and the individual students, and then we'll know where to go to work. We'll have to improve on maybe some instructional strategies. I've ordered through Title I funds Achieve 3000, and we're going to be using that. We're going to be using Daily 5, a small group instruction structure for all of our students. And also, the district is providing Imagine Learning.
Oh, great.
And they are providing 75 licenses for our ELL students.
Great.
So we have some new things that we're going to be implementing this next year, and that will help us.
So I know you're getting some things for your ELL, your English
Yes.
language learning students. What is a typical Cleveland student like? I know your demographics have changed,
Yes.
and when I walk the halls, they just run the gamut of all across the board.
I know. We do have a nice, diverse population. Our free and reduced has increased. We're 50% now. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing because it is enabling us to have a little bit more funds that are provided for technology. But the children at Cleveland,
The little bulldogs.
Yes, they love the arts. They love to perform. We have a lot of music and art opportunities for the children. The children are independent thinkers. They're very self-assured. They love to come to school and learn. I have very few discipline problems. And I think that our Great Expectations, we're a model school. I think that contributes to it a whole lot too.
And also you, because I would hate to disappoint you and get in trouble and be sent to your
I
office
know,
because you're so sweet.
I know. Well, and they know, we have to call mom or dad if we come to the office.
Yes,
So
exactly.
everyone tries to be on their very best behavior, but we have a great little family community. Our parents are wonderful, and our teachers are super, and the kids, and we all just kind of come in and
Get to work.
get to work. That's right.
Well, thank you so much, Ms.
Thank
Stafford. You did a
you.
great job. I'm so glad
Thank
you were on the
you.
show today. And Cleveland is an award-winning school with an array of extracurricular activities. A lot of awards for you guys. And we'll sit down with a few of the teachers after the break, so stick around.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite.
Unearth hidden passion.
Come on, we'll have a good time. One book can be the funniest little thing. Helps to change a life. Book people unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Welcome back. You're watching the Maps for Kids Showcase. Here's a look at a few of the Oklahoma City Public School District employees who retired this year. The district held a retirement reception for the dozens of staff members who decided to retire this year. Thank you so much for your service to children in the Oklahoma City Public School District. We applaud you. And right now we're joined by Maddie Williams, a third grade teacher at Cleveland Elementary School. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So glad to have you here today. A true accomplishment for your school is being selected as a Great Expectations model school.
Absolutely.
So let's chat about this curriculum and its focus and how you all gained this notoriety.
Okay. Well, it's actually used in correspondence with our curriculum. It's
Okay.
kind of like a disciplinary, a way of disciplining our children, or not necessarily disciplining, but encouraging them to do their best. It really focuses on creating a non-threatening environment for our students, coming in each day and showing them how joyful life can be, giving them the same respect that we would want. So the teachers really are modeling the behavior that they want instead of demanding it.
Okay.
And it really works. We have seen great things in our school. Our children are happy. They want to come to school. We have very few discipline problems. And we did recently, for the second year in a row, achieve our model school status, which means 90 to 100% of our teachers had to be implementing this practice completely to get it. And so it took a lot of hard work, but it's so fun, and it really is a learning experience for the teachers as well, just in their daily lives. So it's a great program. We love it.
And it's paying off, it sounds like.
It is, absolutely.
So I know if you walk into a Great Expectations model school, you will see the difference.
You will.
What are some of the differences when people walk in, you'd be like, oh, that must be a Great Expectations model right there?
Well, first and foremost, you'll walk in and the walls will be covered with students' artwork or classwork. And there will be comments that are positive from the teachers to show the students, we are proud of what you've done and you need to be proud of it as well. When you walk into a classroom, you will be formally greeted by a student who will use complete sentences, will address you by your name, and will introduce you to the classroom. You'll see lots of smiles. That's a big part of it, is just exuding happiness and joy. So you'll just kind of feel that positive energy, and you'll see lots of hands-on learning, lots of enriched vocabulary, really extensive writing on the walls. It's just really kind of what you think of when you think of elementary schools. It's that times 100, just fun.
Yeah, and it's nothing like going to a Great Expectations school, knocking on a classroom door, and a sweet little kid coming up and saying, good morning, my name is so-and-so, and this is Miss So-and-so's class. Come on in. It's just the absolute sweetest. What type of training do the teachers have to go through to, I guess, implement this program that then really feeds off the kids?
Well, Great Expectations has a training each summer during June and July for Oklahoma teachers, where it's a week-long course, or 5 days, and it's called Methodology. And that's basically the introduction to Great Expectations, where you learn what it's about, you learn about the practices, and you become familiar with Great Expectations. Once you have completed that, you're able to go back and take specialty courses where they will teach you how to maybe do reading or response to intervention or math in fun Great Expectations ways, so it's interesting for the teacher as well as the students. And those trainings are a blast. They are really, really fun for the teachers, which is a nice kind of mix-up, so it's, you want to go each year.
Oh, well, that's great. And you teach 3rd grade at Cleveland Elementary.
I do.
And I know the new state law requires that students have to be reading on grade level by the end of the 3rd grade. So, I mean, that's important. We don't want our students retained, and we want them to be reading on grade levels. What methods do you use in the classroom to make sure those kids are reading and comprehending what they're reading?
I think a huge, huge thing to make sure is going on is small group instruction, so that you're able to reach every level of student and work with them wherever they are. Because if you're just teaching to your whole class the whole time, there are some students that are going to be bored because it's not hard enough, and there are some that are going to be totally lost and shut down because they don't know what you're saying or what you're doing up there. So breaking them into small groups and working with them one-on-one really makes sure that the teacher knows where the students are and that the students are really understanding what they're being taught. Also, we have a great parent involvement at our school, so we have lots of parents who volunteer their time and come and will actually read and work with our students who might need it, which is wonderful. Because just even reading with a student, they're learning. They're learning so much. So a lot of that, and I think that will be just fine getting them there, just spending the time and making sure that we really care enough to push our students to get where we know they can be.
And if there's one tip that you could give the parents at home of something they can do when they get off of work, something they can do on the weekends to help their kids strengthen their literacy, what would that be?
Reading. Obviously, reading
to them or have them reading to you, does it matter?
Honestly, reading to a child, having the child read to you, as long as they're getting those words and those experiences through literature, they're learning. Even going to the supermarket with your child and having them read labels to you, that's using reading skills, decoding that they're learning.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Got great
Thank
tips for us
you.
today. You did a
Absolutely.
great job. We really appreciate all your hard work in the classroom for the kids at Cleveland Elementary School.
Thank
And up
you.
next, we'll chat about the amazing art program at the school. But first, several Oklahoma City Public School elementary sites have received Great Expectation Model School status. Here are a few of the photos of those schools. Great job to the staff and students for working so hard to incorporate this highly successful curriculum. We'll be right back.
It's not his new group of friends. It's not the video games. It's not the neighborhood.
Mom, do I have to go to school today?
The biggest threat to your child's future could be you. Every day they miss, even in middle school, puts their graduation at risk.
Welcome back. Here's a look at the grand opening of Prairie Queen Elementary School. Construction is all wrapped up at the school in South Oklahoma City. The school has shiny new hallways, a sleek new entrance, and plenty of space for the nearly 700 students. We will feature Prairie Queen on an upcoming show. And right now we're taking you inside Cleveland Elementary School in Northwest Oklahoma City. Joining us now is Lisa Cochran, a music teacher at Cleveland. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate you being here. And I know that Cleveland is an A+ art school, which is a really big deal. So tell us what this designation means.
It means that we intentionally find ways to make learning creative. Not everybody learns the same way. We're not going to use ditto sheets. We're going to find a way to reach all learners. And so within planning, working with the teachers, if I'm strong in one area and another teacher isn't, and some of her children are not getting an idea, she may come to me and say, they really learn through music. Is there a way that we can add music into this lesson that will explain it better to them? So it's finding a way to reach all students.
So that's just one example of how you're able to integrate arts into all core subjects. Do you have any other examples that really tell how you all, it sounds like, work together as a staff?
Absolutely. That is so, so important. Collaboration is extremely important. For instance, I can recall doing an exercise with the little kids to get them to understand how large skyscrapers were or the dinosaurs and so forth. We measured them and then had them line up, or actually lay down, foot to the next head and so forth. And we get that many children out there, and then they had a better grasp of
how big
length. Yeah, exactly. So things like that. When the fifth graders were studying I believe it was the Mayan culture, we came together, we did some dances and some kind of drumming and so forth that would have taken place in that period. So we find all of these ways of coming up with things that will be remembered by the children for years to come.
Very creative staff.
Yes.
That's good though.
Yes, it makes it a lot of fun.
Let's talk about some of the music offerings that you have available to students, one of which that I know about is the bell ringers, who are so sweet.
Well, thank you so much. We have, of course, general music is taught. I have an honor choir that meets 2 times a week at 7:30 in the morning, 3rd through 5th graders. The bells meet the other 2 mornings of the week at 7:30 as well. We have the symphony. We go to the symphony each year. There's a program called We've Got Rhythm, and it's just excellent. Then we've got strings for both kindergarten and 5th grade. Kindergarten.
Strings.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And they are, the other students, 1st through 4th, are also able to come to an after-school offering as well for strings. And we've just now purchased keyboards, which we're starting to figure out how to put that into the curriculum as well. So, I mean, it's just amazing all the things that we get to do with these children and how excited they are to come into the classroom every day.
And when you walk the halls, I noticed you see great student artwork right alongside great works of art.
Yes.
Which I don't see at a lot of schools, that appreciation of art. So tell us about that.
Well, I'll give you an example. The art teacher and I work very closely together, and a lot of times I will have children listen to pieces of music and look at pictures of artwork that I've selected, and they have to decide which art piece they feel works with the piece better, and give an explanation for. And one year I had a student, I was showing, let's see, Sunrise Over the Canyon and Freedom of Speech, Norman Rockwell piece. And I played Aaron Copland's Fanfare for the Common Man. Well, it's this incredibly large, moving, majestic sounding piece. And a lot of the kids looking at it felt that Sunrise Over the Canyon, it just spoke to them that that was what was going on. But I had one student who raised his hand. He said, I really feel like it's the freedom of speech. And I said, well, explain why, you know. And he said, well, looking at the picture, all the other people are dressed in suits. This one man is just a regular guy, but he's standing up and speaking something that's important to him, something that's in his heart. And I just feel like the music that we heard, which Fanfare for the Common Man.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. I mean, he so understood it. And so this appreciation, I mean, we use the art prints in ways that teach them about the historical periods and how the music and the art and the history was going on, and what would have come into play in the artist or composer's mind, what were on their minds.
That's definitely one of those days where you were like, yes, the kids got it.
Absolutely.
And you all have been one of the schools selected to participate in El Sistema, which is a new exciting program coming to Oklahoma City. So
ecstatic.
please tell us about this program.
Yes. El Sistema is a ministry for communing musical instruction to children that might not otherwise have access to it. St. Luke's, OCU, and the Foundation for Oklahoma City Public Schools came together for this. It is a program that happens 5 days a week after school from 3 to 6.
Wow.
Yes. And they're looking at capturing those children who might not have supervision after school, and instead of just hanging out,
Sitting, watching TV,
exactly,
eating junk food all night.
we're going to give them an instrument. And literally, they are given an instrument. They are taught to play that instrument, given so many incredible opportunities. Our children, in fact, yesterday, last day of school, and one of the 4th graders who's been selected said, I don't want summer. I want summer to be over.
Oh.
And the other kids were, oh, you know, not all of them. But this wonderful discussion was going on. Well, if you're not in school, you're not learning. So, you know, and he said, well, I just can't wait for El Sistema. I can't wait for the fall.
That's
So,
great.
Yes.
That's exciting.
It is. It is truly exciting.
Well, thank you for everything you do to support the students at Cleveland Elementary School. We really appreciate all of your hard work.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for stopping by the show today. And I want to thank you for joining us on the Maps for Kids Showcase. This show will air monthly on City Channel 20 and highlight programs, improvements, and partnerships that affect our city schools. For more information on the Maps for Kids project, visit www.okc.gov. And for more information on Oklahoma City Public Schools, check out www.okcps.org. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Tierney Tennant, and we'll see you next time.